Anytime we have a half episode, something special is on the way. And this week, we're treating you guys to something really special. All-pro receiver, all-pro returner, Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks. Tyler, what's going on, my man? How we doing?
Not much. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great because we have a perennial all-pro on the show for the first time, and that's an awesome feeling for me and Chris. Obviously, you and Chris played in Seattle together for a couple of years and have a very special bond. Talk about your relationship with Chris a little bit and how you guys became such close friends.
And don't hold back.
Oh, no. When I came on the team, I was able to get drafted. Ended up coming on the team, and that's one of the hardest things to do is just meet guys, especially when everybody talked about, man, it's all about making a team and you don't want somebody to take food off your family's plate. So for me, I guess like when I got on the team, the two people I clung to the most was Chris and BJ. And there was times where I'd be at the hotel, like I'm about to go to sleep, and Chris would text me, hey, come outside. I'm like, bro, you ain't even asked me if I wanted to kick it. Like, you just be like, come outside, we going out. And we just literally would just go out. I think one time we went out 4 nights straight. Like 4 in the morning, and I said, yeah, I can't do this.
Hey, let me tell you, bro. My girlfriend is still mad at me because you never gave me back my watch.
Oh, shoot. Hey, bro, I forgot all about that. She gave that to you?
I was like, damn, I even forgot for a second. I was like, damn, what did I do with that watch? And I, just thinking back, I was like, I gave it to Tyler.
Shoot, BJ gave me so much stuff too. I just took it in. Now my girl talking about, I'm throwing some of this stuff away in your closet.
So, Tyler, coming in the league at 23 years old and having your first season be your Pro Bowl and All-Pro year, how did you deal with that amount of success very, very early on in your career? And how did that translate to, on-the-field success after that?
Yeah, honestly, man, like I never really cared about the success. I just wanted to be able to play, like I played for my faith and stuff. So that was the most thing that was important to me. But I think everybody just always had success when we grew up. Whenever it was high school, college, like everybody who got to the league at some point had some. I think it's pretty cool to be able to have that success at the highest level. But, one of the things that I always was able to continue to do is just stay level-headed and just continue to play and try to get better and not worry about all the accolades and all the stats, but just know that that stuff was going to come with the work and everything that was being put in.
Absolutely. And, it was one time and I think it was actually, I really believe it was the first practice that you stepped on the field is when I was like this dude is going to be serious. We was running a screen route, and you were in the game, and I was sitting up there. I was on the sideline with Locke, with Ricardo and Doug and them, and we was just sitting there watching you, and you had caught a screen. And it was like you know how the defense is. They run into the ball. Everybody's crowding you and stuff like that. And it was like, for a second, I was like, okay, well, play's done. Let's move on to the next play and see what he do. No, that's not what happened. At the end, I've seen this guy. It was like a split second of like 2 seconds where he was just in there. And then you just darted off for like 30, 40 yards off of the screen. I'm like, golly. And I'm like, this dude is nice. And then from there on, it just took off from there, bro. It was like it almost looked like an easy climb up to the top, to be honest with you, from what it looked like to me.
Well, the hard part too is like, when you come into the league, everybody already has their position. So, even when I came in, I didn't know where I was going to fit in. They had USZ, Doug at the Zebra, and Jermaine at X. Yep. And then you still had Paul coming off the injury. You still had Norwood on the team. You had Locke on the team. So the hard part was trying to figure out how am I going to fit in? Where am I going to be at on the depth chart? And sometimes, like, the thing that I learned, which sucks in some instances, but it's like, another man's downfall almost becomes another man's opportunity.
That's real.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I don't think I really had a true fair shot at even being able to get that chance to play if you didn't end up getting hurt in that preseason game.
Yeah.
You know, like when you got hurt in that preseason game, I think it was versus the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when, you know, the sad part is that's when another person gets an opportunity. But that's what they say the NFL is you just got to make the best out of your opportunities.
Absolutely, and you definitely did that, bro. It was never anything malicious in my heart when that happened. Of course I was more mad at myself than anything, but then when I started seeing you picking up the pieces and you was actually taking strides with it, that's when I was like, like I can't do anything about that. We got to let this man play, because at the end of the day, like we always said, it's a brotherhood between us, with the whoops and things like that. So I was definitely happy and really proud just to see you, take your leaps and bounds the way that you did.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Definitely,
Definitely.
man.
And so when you look at it from 2015 on, you really had a remarkable run, not only as a receiver, but as a returner as well. One of the most dangerous in the NFL, if I might add that. And one of the most underrated route runners, I think, in the NFL today as well, especially on that deep route. I mean, you were almost unstoppable once you get a steam ahead of you. And it's really impressive to watch, especially in a Russell Wilson-led offense. And speaking of Russell Wilson, the MVP campaign is finally on the way for Russell Wilson. He's been disrespected for far too long by NFL elites. Been saying he hasn't gotten a single MVP vote throughout his entire career, a Super Bowl champion, a top 3 quarterback, bar none, the past 3-4 seasons. What are your impressions of Russell Wilson's performance so far in 2020, and where do you see it going for your team headed forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think Russ has played phenomenal, honestly. I think that, he's taken his limitless minds to a whole nother level. That's something that he's always been able to talk about. And he talked about it's all about being able to envision yourself doing things before you actually do it. So a lot of those times when we're out there playing, he's probably already went through the game 3 or 4 times in his head before we even stepped on the field. And just being able to put yourself in those situations, already teaching yourself how to get out of those situations. Once you get in it, you're already mentally prepared to figure out what steps need to be taken so you could be able to come out as a conqueror. And I think it's crazy he hasn't gotten any MVP voting ever since he came into the league, but I definitely think that his time is coming, and I think his time is now.
Did you guys ever clown him for the limitless thing? Be honest. Did you guys ever get in the locker room and just clown him for that video?
No, like, I mean, I didn't, but I think when you really look deep into, the very thing that he talks about and the very thing that he practices on a daily basis, it really does make you think, and it takes you to another place of being like, dang, like, this is why a lot of people stress. This is why a lot of people go through the depression and anxiety, because they haven't learned how to control their minds, because they're just now getting into a situation for the very first time in their life. But it's not only in football, but if you could take yourself through situations in life before you actually get there, or even when you're in that moment, you can really get yourself out of it just by mentally preparing yourself.
That's something I must commend you on, bro, because that's something that a lot of people don't really understand. And especially with football, being that there's so many people pulling you from left and right, then you still have to stay focused on the game plan and on the defensive schemes and stuff like that for you to be able to express it and let people know, because I know it's not only just coming from Russ, but it has to be coming from you as well with your mindset and how you approach the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely does. And the best thing about, the leadership, and the best thing about having different types of players from different type of environments is you get to hear different types of perspectives. You get to understand how people see things. And I think we're a product of our own environment. So whether it's in life, whether it's in football, whether it's in relationships, you have people who have experienced a lot of things, whether it's in different situations or just different people in general, that can help you when you get into like same equivalent situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. And so on that kind of note here, you guys are obviously 5-0, enjoying a franchise best 5-0 at this point in the NFL season here. 25% of the season is over. And there's already been a lot of COVID concerns when it comes to longevity for this season specifically. There's been talks about a week 18 being a possibility. There's been talks about a 2-week hiatus to try to get some of these cases under control. Look at the Titans, especially 25 plus cases in that locker room alone. What are your thoughts on the NFL's handling of the COVID-19 process so far, and where do you see it going forward?
I think we probably are doing the best that we possibly can, but there's so much unknown status about COVID. Nobody really knows how you can really get it. We have ideas of how you can get it, but I mean, you could get it at the gas station, just trying to pump your gas. I think we got the best protocols and set that we possibly can, but I think it's no running away from COVID unless you just decide to stay in your house for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. If it's your time, if it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
So my mom always told me.
I was about to say, I guess that is true. A lot of the time, people don't understand how contagious it really is. But you can really get it, like you said, quite literally anywhere. You get it off somebody's shoe, you stepped in the wrong place. You know what I mean? So it's all a take and go, and kind of a luck of the draw when it comes to who ends up getting it. Some people put themselves in situations where they're more likely to get it. But at the end of the day, it could happen to really anybody. Speaking of people who have COVID in the NFL, my New England Patriots, I'm from Boston, so obviously I'm a diehard Patriots fan. Hate to bring that up in front of you guys. Obviously, the Seahawks have a long history with the New England Patriots here. But I will have to ask you about your guys' Sunday night duel with Cam Newton, the Patriots, just a few weeks ago. You guys end up stopping him at the 1-yard line, ironically, in fact, to end the football game and take the victory. But what were your impressions of Cam Newton and the New England Patriots for the 2020 season?
I mean, I thought they were a great team. Obviously, their offensive scheme is a little different, but I think for the team that they are, and I think that they're going to be a really good team to mess with in the future. I think that their defense is really good, like always. Their offense, like I said, they got a different scheme, and so teams got to figure out what they have to do in order to beat that scheme. So I think they're going to be a team to definitely look forward to, and you can't count them out, especially the type of coach that they have. They're always going to be a contender.
Yeah, but you got to talk about our defense, the 12's defense, how we stopped them on that 1-yard line. That was an amazing play, man. And I know that that Adams is hurt right now, but when he comes back, what is the feeling when he's on the field, taking control of that defense?
I mean, it's a great feeling, honestly. Like, just the fact when you look at our defense, our defense is starting to remind you every day about what it was like when I first got on the team. And you got a lot of guys, and even if they're young, we got a lot of guys that are able to stick together. They know what it's like to play off of one another and to feed off of one another. And you got Bobby and KJ also being able to lead the way. And I think it just talks about the leaders we have on our team.
Absolutely. And I want to know who taught KJ how to catch that one-handed pass. That's what I want to know.
Last year, him and Norton would catch with tennis balls and stuff. So I don't know if he still does that, but man, KJ been killing it, and that was a great catch.
Yeah, absolutely. And KJ is a legit baller, and I would love for him to continue on having the great success that he's having, man, because you guys are looking really special out there.
Appreciate that.
Definitely. And I want to talk about your guys' victory against the Minnesota Vikings this past week. In a classic Russell Wilson comeback from behind victory here, you guys end up winning 27-26, I believe, in a crazy last 2-minute drive here with DK Metcalf kind of capping it off with a tremendous touchdown catch as well. And speaking of DK Metcalf, what have you seen from the second-year wideout that separates him from everyone else in football? Like, me and Chris have coined the phrase, he's bigger, he's faster, and he's stronger than every single defensive back in the NFL. I think you can probably provide some more light to that.
Yeah, but also, he has a work ethic that is hard to match for a lot of other people. He already wanted to be one of the greats coming in. When you come in with that mindset, you become unstoppable off top. He already got the experience of what it's like to be in the league his first year. So his second year, nothing is going to catch him by surprise. So it doesn't surprise me that he's doing as great as he's doing. I think he's going to be really successful in the league and definitely going to continue on to be one of the best receivers for a very long time.
Absolutely. And that's saying a lot coming from Seattle.
No, definitely, especially just with the opportunities that we're getting as receivers. I mean, he's putting himself in a great position to be successful, and he's helping our team out a lot because teams have to figure out how can we stop him. And because of that, he allows other people to be able to get put in situations where they can also be successful.
Like yourself, who had a 3-touchdown performance just a couple weeks ago. And it shows just how dangerous and how deep you guys are offensively, because you have a plethora of weapons for Russell Wilson to play with. And it's just a fun, exciting offense to watch. It's electrifying. You can go deep, you can go short, you can go intermediate, you can run the ball. You guys do so many things so well. And that's the reason why you guys are undefeated right now. That's the reason why you guys are leading the division into the playoffs here, especially with the 49ers dealing with Jimmy Garoppolo's injury.
All right.
Chris is so butthurt about that. Can you calm this down? Chris is so butthurt about the 49ers losing to the Miami Dolphins yesterday.
Hey, man,
and he
my
won't
team,
stop.
man. I grew up watching this team my whole life. That's the whole reason why I wanted to play football and I wanted to be a receiver. Was
Fair
because
enough.
of the 49ers. Like, you can't get mad at me, man.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
You know, in the league, everybody could lose at any given time. So that's why you can't really look past any teams. Like, regardless of who you play, whether it's a team that could be a Super Bowl contender or a team that has no chance to make it, it really doesn't matter. You could lose on any given day.
And after some technical difficulties, we're back with Stafford and Matthews here with Tyler Lockett here. To finish up talking about Dak Prescott, we actually didn't get to hear talking to you about that stuff. So Dak Prescott goes down with a horrific injury, a terrible ankle injury, and he knows the season's over as soon as he hits the pavement there. He goes back, and the entire NFL community is kind of grieving the Cowboys' loss there. What are your thoughts on Dak Prescott's injury and what it means for the Cowboys moving forward and the NFL community moving forward in general?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a very hard injury, man. Like I've gotten hurt my second year, and I've had a compound fracture, so I have an understanding of what it's like and the surgery that has to take place, and just being able to get yourself back on the field. And it's going to be one of those things where you got to continue to overcome a lot of stuff mentally. I think just being able to come and play during this season is different because a lot of us didn't really have an opportunity to truly train, to get ourselves like better equipped to be able to come out here and play. So we're trying to do everything that we can to stay safe and to not have to deal with certain injuries, but I think it's just hard being able to go down like that. And I think everybody grieved, exactly. I think we all grieved what happened, and a lot of us know what it's like because we've been there before. So we just try to keep him in our prayers and just pray strength over him and his family and everybody.
Most definitely. And our hearts and prayers go out to Dak Prescott as well in this difficult time. And it couldn't have come at a worse time for his career. He's actually lighting it up statistically right now, leading the Dallas Cowboys to an NFC East, best record in that division. And now his contract year's up right now. His injury, obviously complicates the contract negotiations going forward. He wasn't happy with what the Cowboys were offering him. And that means a lot for contract negotiations. Does Jerry Jones franchise him again? I'm thinking yes. And that's just a terrible situation for someone who deserves to get paid, in my view. So definitely thoughts and prayers out to Dak Prescott. We actually have some fan questions for you, Tyler, if you don't mind answering some of these. We'll do rapid fire kind of. Chris Matthews, one of our guest hosts, obviously, opened his DMs to all of our followers, trying to see some better questions and see what you could answer here. So rapid fire down the list here. One from Jesse Zaneka. Who was the best defensive back you have played against so far?
I'd probably say maybe Stephon Gilmore when I went against him my second year.
Is it close or no?
I only said one.
Well, no, it is one, but I'm saying, was there a couple of, like, names in your mind when you're going back and forth on that, or was it Stephon Gilmore stick out to you?
Well, I mean, I had said it was him before even going into last season. So, I mean, of course, Sherm is definitely up there for sure. Like, if not number one, I went against him every single day. So,
right.
Of course, like, if I didn't say practice, like, I don't go against Sherm a lot during the games when I go against him with San Fran. But if I had to go against somebody as much as I went against him every day in practice, then I would definitely say Sherm.
Definitely. Okay, second question here from Scott Kelsley. How do you lead a team like Seattle with all the weapons around you?
You said, how do I what?
How do you lead a team with all the weapons around you? How do you stick out? Obviously, you're a veteran presence in that locker room, a 5-year veteran, and one of the veterans in the receiving room. So how do you typically lead these younger guys?
Just be you. I think that's really all you can really do is just be yourself and let everybody else and everything around you adjust. Like, people, when they know who you are, they know how to come talk to you. They know what they need to talk to you about. Like, you just let it be a safe place. And I think that's the best thing that I could ever give to anybody is just allow it to be a safe place.
Most definitely. Third question here from Nadine. Out of your entire career, what was your favorite NFL game to play in?
I'd probably say my favorite game so far to play in, probably the Chiefs game.
The Chiefs game? What was the final score of that game?
I don't remember. I just know we won.
That's all that matters, I guess, right? Fourth question here from Jason Mims. And this is kind of a subjective question. Who's the coolest person on the Seattle Seahawks? You can't say yourself. You got to say somebody else.
I don't know. I'll probably say David Moore and DK.
Dave Moore and DK. I like that answer right there. And number 5 here from Miguel. I'm assuming you wanted to play football your entire life. So who would you look up to in the NFL that resembled your game?
I didn't really watch the NFL like that. Like I more so watched college because my family went to K-State, so I watched them a lot. But, my dad played in the league too, so I really just kind of watched my dad play when he was in the NFL, and that's really the only time that I watched. Otherwise, I just kind of did my own thing and kind of just tried to figure out what my game best suited and just tried to focus on those strengths.
Definitely. And from one perspective, obviously, I'm only 20 years old, so I'm a kind of younger guy. But looking back at NFL history, you remind me a lot of a guy named Dante Hall, the Kansas City Chiefs, an elite returner who had their moments in the receiving game as well. But I think you obviously transcend him when it comes to actual receiving and returning. You guys are very, very similar. But Tyler, thank you so much for having you on the show here, Stafford and Matthews. We appreciate you coming on here as one of our first major guests along with Randall Cobb. Any final thoughts you want to throw out there to our listeners?
No, just, tell them to keep tuning in and just listening to everybody that y'all bring on the podcast, and just appreciate y'all allowing me to be a part of it.
And we thank you as well. Stafford and Matthews, episode 5.5. Chris couldn't actually finish the episode because of some technical difficulties, but we're going to end it here anyway. Tyler, thanks again so much, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
All right, thank you.